What's going on, everybody? So I want to showcase my full clear of all world bosses in the review build because we got the game earlier. I wanted to dive in and check this out. Now this is on world tier 4 on all of these fights, and you can see I'm level 62. So these guys are pretty easy to beat despite that, at least for the rogue. And if this doesn't convince you to go rogue, I don't know what will. The 1 to 100 process, even past 50, is exceptionally good for the rogue compared to any other class. This guy here, Wandering Death, is probably the easiest of the 3 world bosses in my opinion. He has very telegraphed attacks compared to Ashava and Avarice, and really the only 2 moves you kind of have to watch out for are the laser beams, which do turn into 3 laser beams in later phases, and also the bone prison that he keeps you in, and if you don't get out quick enough, you're going to explode. Now, he does have sort of phase transitions, and he kind of morphs during those phases, which basically gives you like a couple of seconds of free DPS time. And you can see here, the kind of claws grasping are very easy to avoid. They don't move very quickly. The only thing that you really need to worry about outside of those 2 moves is just not stand in the ghost hurricanes that kind of appear. But you can see here, I'm about to go ahead and have a triple laser beam appear. That is because I got to the final phase. You do really need to avoid these, and which is why I was a little bit more careful. I wasn't just straight up DPSing, because if I get caught in one of those, I basically just die instantly. But the rogue just absolutely blasts here, and you can see at the very end, this is the bone prison I'm talking about. You have to break open the gate or break open the wall and retreat from it because it does hurt a lot. Pretty simple. We killed this in 1:40. Let's move on to the next one. Now this next one, I had DM with me, but his build wasn't really working too well at this point, and I'm also 7 levels above him, so he didn't really have the option to contribute much, simply for the fact that he wasn't really spec'd for single target damage here. So it was kind of up to me to kill off the boss. This was my first attempt at it, and to be honest, the rogue just destroys. Like, it wasn't really super difficult. I did not die on any of these fights. There were a few attacks to kind of avoid. He has this molten lava pool that he spits up at the bottom of his feet, which is kind of similar to the Ashava fight, where he's got the poison fields kind of appearing everywhere. So you do have to stand outside of that. But you can see here with Dark Shroud and with the healing I'm getting off of just my skills and all that good stuff, I don't really need to worry about it. One of the cool moves that he does have is that portal teleport, where he'll summon, appear out of it, and smack down. You have to avoid that. It does do a lot of damage. And on top of that, he does have a move where he swings his chest in a crescent attack in front of you, and he also has a move where he immediately spins around and attacks. Those 2 moves also hit very hard, but generally speaking, as long as you stay near his feet, similar to Ashava, you're going to be fine, with the exception of you do have to avoid the lava pools and that he's placing on the ground, which, as you can see here, just placed. And of course, there's little mines that explode, as you can see here, the little rocks. When those explode, you basically go ahead and get little mini pools of molten gold that appear, which do hurt as well. So pretty quick fight though, another 1:40 fight. Super easy and pretty good rewards. Let's move on to the final one. So the final one is Ashava, one we've seen many times, but this is on world tier 4. Are there any additional moves? No, not that I noticed, but the moves do hit harder, and it seems that they're a little bit faster, at least when I was fighting it, but that might just be because we're only 2 people, and I didn't really find an instance with 2 people when I was playing during the beta. Now, we've seen a lot of the moves, just stay really close to Ashava, don't get hit by those wing slaps because they hurt super hard, and then of course, you kind of have to avoid a lot of the AoEs, but fortunately for me, again, the rogue is busted for the 1 to 100 process. I had Dark Shroud, and as long as I don't get hit by too many things, I reduce all damage, right, by that 50-60%, a crazy amount if you have a lot of ranks in a Dark Shroud, which is super good. Once again, DM here was not spec'd for single target damage, but did do a little bit of damage here and contributed, so we got this one down a little bit faster. Definitely something that is absolutely insane just to see. Like, you could see every single world boss that I've done is just super quick, just because how strong the rogue actually is. This one got down about 1:20 and also gave us the best reward. So that's all 3 of the world bosses down, guys, and it really wasn't too difficult. Not to say that I'm super good, it just wasn't too hard. But once again, that just could be a rogue thing because I've tried on other classes and it can be a lot more difficult. For the build that I was running in each of these fights, if you guys are curious, I was running my endgame Twisting Blades build that I've showcased on the channel, or I will showcase on the channel rather. And this builds off my 1 to 50 Twisting Blades build, which is exceptionally good. There's only one minor change I make from the 1 to 50 build to the endgame build, besides like Paragon and things like that, and that is the Dark Shroud. Instead of Concealment, I do go for Dark Shroud. Why? Because you do want Dark Shroud when you're fighting in the higher world tiers, because they will smack you way harder. When you're on World Tier 1 and you're getting to World Tier 3, you don't need it at all. Concealment's totally fine for extra DPS and a little bit of energy regeneration. But when you get to World Tier 3 and 4, you do start to get smacked pretty hard, and this is absolutely crucial for world bosses, especially due to, having 5 protective shadows. You can see 11.2% damage reduction. If you have the legendary, it can be upwards of like 70% damage reduction for the first hit, which means that if you're avoiding the world boss hits, you basically take 70% less damage, period, because, well, if you get hit for one every once in a while, you're going to have that 5 stacks up and be completely fine. So Dark Shroud is pretty crucial. Poison Imbuement is the main DPS skill for world bosses. Twisting Blades is how we kind of get that Poison Imbuement on, but if you can upgrade Poison Imbuement, it is exceptionally good. Also, Shadow Clone with Poison Imbuement due to a legendary here. This is the biggest combo that I have, and I can't remember which slot it's on, but you can see here, there we go, on the ring. Our Shadow Clones mimic the imbuement skills, and it also goes ahead and increase our shadow clone damage, and then we have increased potency of those imbuement skills when they're vulnerable, which we have permanent vulnerability up. So imbuement, poison imbuement is the way to go for single target damage. If you guys enjoyed the video, hopefully you guys will try the build out. If not, then well, play however you want. I don't mind at all. This is just something that I've seen to be absolutely brutalizing everything up to 70 at the minimum, but I am 100% certain that it will take you all the way to 100 without any issues whatsoever. And as you approach level 100, I'm sure there's going to be different modifications to kind of challenge Nightmare Dungeons 100, because I did not get to that point. Those guys are like level 150, but hopefully that is interesting to you all. And if it was, try to give me a like or drop a sub on the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all for the next one.